Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And technically speaking, another anniversary review. Because this time it's a film that was released in 1984, so 35 years. And it's another good film, I would say, from director Ron Howard. I've enjoyed most of Ron Howard's films, most of them. Some of them have been not that good though. Only quite a few though, but Ron Howard, he's a good director. Just because I enjoyed Apollo 11. Apollo 11. Apollo 13. Sorry, Apollo 13, Cocoon. Backdraft. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I going to like a little bit less though, but Jim Carrey's performance and how he would make up in the suit and the production design of the film is good though. But I just gotta lose my interest. It's one of my least favorite films from. Well, it's not the worst from Ron Howard. I mean, The Dilemma from 2011, that's one of his worst. I know a Solo Star Wars story, which I did not like. So, but The Dilemma, that film. But other films, like I said, Apollo 13, Backdraft, Cocoon, it's a great one. There was also a Night Shift, with his Happy Days co-actor Henry Winkler, and then also Michael Keaton was in that as well. That's a good film. In the Heart of the Sea, I think I remember liking, because I had the poster and I got the DVD of it a while back. So, In the Heart of the Sea, but then there was also some other ones like Rush, also with Chris Hemsworth, I've not seen. Frost Nixon, I have not seen. For other films from director Ron Howard. Oh yeah, his Robert Landon films like the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, and then Inferno. I have not seen Inferno yet though, but I've seen the other two though. But Ron Howard, he's been a very good director. Overall good. He's always been a good director, though. It's just some of his films have been not that. A few of his films haven't been that good, but this is another good one from 1984. So 35 years later. Went back from the day for young Tom Hanks, and that started as Splash. So yeah, Splash stars Tom Hanks. Which I think after this before he did this film, he did Bachelor Party, which I liked. It's one of my favorite comedies with him. Start with it with Tom Hanks. This is also I think what made set off his career after he did Splash. Sorry, but yeah, because this film was overall a big hit back then. And he also got stars Daryl Hannah. Eugene Levy and John Candy, may rest in peace. Who I miss. I miss John Candy. But yeah, that's another great. One thing that's big about this film is the cast. So yeah, Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, Eugene Levy, and John Candy. They all do a wonderful job in this film. Can't talk again. Wonderful job in this film, and it's well directed by Ron Howard. Of course, Brian Grazer, who also produced pretty much all of his movies. But it's a good film. It has some good, nice bits of humor of comedy film, but it got some good. But it's also a film that has a good heart to it, and it's it is a love story. I'll put it that way. It is a love story. Which is good, love stories can work in a lot of ways. They can, but especially in type of films like these, It definitely can work, and especially with our story with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah, it definitely works. And the plot's fairly simple. Tom Hanks plays a guy named Alan, and John Candy plays his brother Freddie. They work together in like this food trade place, like for like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And like, well, his Tom Hanks, his girlfriend dumps him. He's all depressed, and he goes to Cape Cod because back then when he was a kid, him and his brother were kids. They were at Cape Cod years ago with his parents, and how the film opens up, like back when Alan was a kid, he sees some of the water, he jumps in it, he goes and jumps right in the water on this boat. Well, with young Freddie, John Candy, he goes and drops a whole bunch of change just to look up girls' skirts. And even like in a moment at when they both go to a coworker's wedding, John Candy still does that, and Tom Hanks like, it was embarrassing when you were 10 years old. I was like, well, hey, if it works, you can still do it, you know. So yeah, but going back to the beginning of the open of the film, the kid, young Alan, he jumps in the water and he sees his young girl in the water with them. You know, he comes to like smiling, come to liking of each other until he gets pulled out of the water, and then it comes back to the present day. Then, but like I said, Tom Hanks' character gets dumped. He's all depressed, and well, even at the wedding, you know that when they're meeting and greeting everybody that's coming to the wedding, you have a little appearance from Ron Howard's brother Clint. When he says, "Hi, Alan," and Tom Hanks goes and shouts at him, it's like, "Okay, she left me. Now go sit down." So yeah, like Clint Howard's like cameo appearances on all of his brother's films as well. So he's on this boat with this guy. Motor breaks down. The guy goes and jumps into the water to swim miles away to get the other boat. Tom, one that leads to another. He falls in the water. He gets hit in the head by the boat. And the mermaid, Daryl Hannah, saves him. Like, he washes up on the beach. He sees her naked because when she's on dry land, she has legs. Doesn't speak English. But then she swims away, and then he's back on the mainland, and then Daryl Hannah, like, she finds his wallet that was dropped on that was in the water. She finds his wallet and finds out where New York is. That's where he lives. Like, she goes to New York. She goes to the Statue of Liberty. She's on land, you know, naked, with legs, naked, and the crowd's like, "Oh, naked girl!" And they're all taking pictures. And Madison. She later, Daryl Hannah gets called Madison. So I'll just call her Madison right now, so because that's what she gets the name later on. So Madison, like, she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know how the real world works. So she's all smiling and stuff, and she gets like a "I Love New York" T-shirt on, taken to the police station, and they get a hold of Tom Hanks, goes on the station. Then who goes to the station, finds her, thinks she, without saying a word, straight up kisses him, like the first time as well when he was watched on the beach. Doesn't say a word to him, just straight up kisses him. So twice. So then it takes him back to his place. And while it's going on, Eugene Levy plays this guy by the name of Corbleu. He's a guy, he wants to prove that mermaids exist. And when he was in the water, he was scuba diving, he sees Daryl Hannah, but she already swam away before he got a chance to take a picture. But then he gets notice of this girl in the newspaper, reads about her in the newspaper, about this naked girl washing up on coming out of land or whatever. So he knows that's her. So he wants to prove that mermaids exist because typical. He tells a mythical creature exists, and everyone else doesn't believe him. The typical thing. So, and we're going back with him and with John Candy with the brothers Tom Hanks and John Candy, which they get some fun back and forth with each other. Buying these two are brothers. Even like when John Candy gets him sort of like this scene here, he has him sort of in a headlock, and it's oh gotcha, like a eye couch or something like that, aha, and or where they were playing with racquetball and racquetball. He gets hit John Candy gets hit a couple times. So he gets some moments of bits of humor in there. And John Candy, I miss John Candy. Just he was one of those actors who was seemed like a very nice, kind-hearted person. And I miss the guy. I love him in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I highly enjoy him in Spaceballs, which he did this film after he did Spaceballs, because Spaceballs was 83. I love Spaceballs, my favorite comedy of all time. Yeah, he was hilarious as barf. But I miss John Candy. He was awesome in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It shows he can do. He not only get outside doing comedy at the same time, but it shows he can do acting. Outside of comedy, like doing serious drama stuff. He shows that he does show that. But I miss John Candy. He was gone way too soon, before his time. I like him in Only the Lonely. Even his little role in Home Alone as well, when he's transporting Kevin's mother on the way to her house. John Candy, it's always a pleasure to see him on the screen, so just makes you want to miss the guy. Sucks. But he does a wonderful job here playing as Tom Hanks' brother. I enjoy the bit banter between they have each other, buying them that they are brothers. And back with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah. While he's at work at Daryl Hannah, she's trying to learn how the world works. She goes on her own, learns the value of shopping, and she learns how to speak English by learning from watching a lot of the television stuff on TV. So and Tom Hanks say, well, you don't have a name, you don't have an English name. Tell me what your name is. And she goes, her name is in that screechy sounds and goes and breaks all the TVs. So then he goes and names her Madison. And tells her about this statue has this mermaid statue on it. Saying it's going to be torn down. So later she goes and she had this necklace she had, even when she was a little girl, she had this necklace on. She goes and trades it to buy that statue so it doesn't get torn down. Puts it in his apartment, saying that she loves it, that she loves him. Says to why, even though he was a guy who was not entirely sure, because this guy is what is love and all this stuff, and asking John Candy about that. Until finally, ultimately, he does love her, and with Eugene Levy, he tries to attempt to get Daryl Hannah wet. The first time he's down the street, he's carrying buckets of water. He throws down the wrong woman. He's trying to get a picture, throws the wrong woman. The husband goes and beats the crap out of him. Next thing you see him, he has a broken arm. And then she tries the same attempt again when they're on the elevator. He thinks they're on the right floor. He goes and takes the fire hose and sprays the same couple again. He gets his ass beaten to him again. This time he's wearing a neck brace. Like this here. Eugene Levy, whatever happened to Eugene Levy? The last thing he did when he voiced in Finding Dory, when he voiced Dory's father, That was back in 2016, so he hasn't done much since. So I guess he's retired now because the guy is like what 72 years old now. When I looked up Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is not always right. So, but 72 years old, yeah, he's definitely up in there in age. So I guess if he's retired, that's fine. Because the last film he did was Finding Dory. But Eugene Levy, he did a good job in this film. And then, like, him and Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah go to this party where the president is at, and before that, because they're not only they're trying to go to dinner, and she goes and eats this whole lobster roll with the shell and all, and then Tom Hanks saying, "Oh, she's very hungry," and then they go ice skating, and he proposes to her, wants to marry her, but she says no because she wants to keep her mermaid identity a secret. But also she comes back to him and says yes. And then then they go to this party where the president is at, and then Eugene Levy, he attempts to get her wet again inside the building, but he gets thrown out. But now as they reach outside the building, he does manage to squirt her with the hose, and then right in front of the public, Daryl Hannah is exposed. So they carry her away, and they examine her. They're also examining Tom Hanks. He's naked in this pool, and he's like, "I am not a fish. I'm a man." Okay. So he's fine. He gets sent back. John Candy gets him, brings back to the workplace, and everyone's staring at him. And he's telling all the workers, like, "What's the matter? You ever seen a guy who slept with a fish? Get back to work." So, and then you get a little moment with John Candy, and a little serious moment where it said that he was happy. Tom Hanks he was like, "Oh, I was happy, but I am in love with with someone who's a human, but she's a fish, And then when John Candy's like, "You know what happy is? You were happy with her the whole time, right? Before you went crazy." So you know what happy is? What was that? What line he said? You're happy. He was happy the whole time, but then, John Candy, he'll never be as happy like he was. The whole time because the whole time of John Candy, he was like a flirting with other women as well. But he's the point is he's not gonna be as happy as the same kind of happy that Tom Hanks was. So so John Candy gets pissed at him for that. So, and then with Eugene Levy, he now feels sorry that he now feels sorry for Daryl Hannah. She's in the fish tank. So since he calls all this, he does feel very sorry for her. So he wants to he goes to the dentist, and Tom Hanks talks to him. Talking to him, and so ultimately Eugene Levy helps Tom Hanks out, gets John Candy involved, and it's like they to get past this guard, Eugene Levy takes the two are like the Swedish doctors, and so the guard speaks a little bit in Swedish, and John Candy says speaking in the Swedish language, he's like, "Oh, I got a 12-inch penis," and the guard's like, "Oh, okay." So that's all it took for him for them to get through by saying that. Oh, because he spoke in the Swedish language by saying that. That's how easy for him to get through. So they get her out, and when the doctors come in, John Candy, he's sitting in the fish tank fishing for nothing, and there's "Oh, hey guys, how you doing?" And he's just sitting there laughing with a cigar. He's like. John Candy, I miss the guy. May he rest in peace. So, the rest of the Eugene Levy, Tom Hanks, and Daryl Hannah, they're driving away from the army. I like this. You get the scene here where Eugene Levy, he wants to slow them down, but doesn't do anything. He goes and falls down this and that's not a ditch, but it was one of those things where where it's in the ground where you're on an elevator is when it falls from the ground. I don't know what the other thing is called though, but he's like, "This is just isn't my week at all." And then they finally reach the pier, and Tom Hanks tells her to go, and saying, but she's saying, "But I can never come back to you." And then, but Tom Hanks, if he went with her, then he can never come back. He can never come back to the mainland again. So it's a hard decision. So I mean, he's never gonna see his brother again or anybody. So she jumps in as the helicopter is coming in, the army. So Tom Hanks jumps in with her. So because he wants to be with her. So there's a couple of Coast Guards, tries to get jump in the water to get them, but fends them off. So, and then just takes Tom Hanks and then swimming towards his underwater kingdom. Which I'm like, I mean, Tom Hanks. I guess I guess that she kissed when he was underwater, about to drown because he can't swim. She kisses him and then it's like, okay, I can hold my breath longer than usual, I guess. Yeah, that's a little iffy thing though, but that doesn't hurt the film the moment the least bit. But it was just like, okay, so I guess when she kissed him, he can hold his breath a lot longer until they reach the underwater kingdom, I guess. Because he doesn't seem like he can't hold his breath that longer, so I guess it was that kiss that made him hold his breath longer, I guess. So yeah, it's a little iffy thing. It was like, okay, I get he would die though, but either he can hold his breath for a good amount of time as they're swimming towards the underwater kingdom, or it was that one kiss that she did. I'm guessing because she did one kiss, and then when Tom was like this. So, but yeah, that's the iffy thing. That's not. I'm not calling it as a nitpick though, but it's just a little something that's like, okay. But yeah, I think the cast does a 4 main characters here. I thought they all did such a wonderful job. Tom Hanks did a great job. Daryl Hannah, I thought she also did a wonderful job as well, because not only that though, but for get her working in the mermaid suit, this part here of the mermaid suit. I feel probably they had to tie her legs together to make her way work within the mermaid tail, and it was her doing all the swimming in that thing. Obviously, there wasn't a stunt woman doing that or something like that. No, I think that was all her. So I think she did. I give her credit. I give Daryl Hannah credit for that. I thought she did a really great job, working within this mermaid suit or tail, whatever. Yeah, so it didn't look like it was no stunt woman, whatever, were doing the swimming part. She did it mostly. It was doing her doing it all on her own. So, and it wasn't. And it looked like it definitely looked like it was not easy working in that mermaid outfit. So I give Daryl Hannah a very kudos for that. Definitely give her kudos for that. But John Candy, may he rest in peace. I miss the guy. He does a really a wonderful job as playing Tom Hanks' brother Freddie. Eugene Levy as well. It's well directed by Ron Howard. The music. Who did the music for this? Lee Holdridge. The music worked well. It fit the romance. When Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah are out on dating and going out together. Get the bit of love music in there. And that's what also not only the cast works, but it's the story as well. A man who falls in love with a mermaid. Can't get any more simple than that, and it works well. And it's a great love story, I would say. It's definitely a good love story. Especially for a love fantasy film as well. It's fantasy. So, but yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. For also other films that Ron Howard directed, A Beautiful Mind as well. Can't recall what other film. I know I said other films that Ron Howard did. I just want to make sure I wouldn't miss any good ones I forget that he did. Starting from the top. Yeah, Ransom. I reviewed Ransom with Mel Gibson and Gary Sinise. Yeah, I enjoy Ransom. The Da Vinci Code, Cinderella Man, The Missing with Tommy Lee Jones, The Paper, Far and Away, Parenthood, Willow with Val Kilmer. I like Willow. That's a fantasy film I like. Willow, Parenthood, with Steve Martin, and I know Keanu Reeves was in it as well. Yeah, Steve Martin, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, and Rick Moranis as well. Yeah, most of the films that Ron Howard did I enjoyed. Cocoon I enjoyed, Night Shift, Backdraft, Apollo 13 I enjoy. It's one of Ron Howard's best films to me, Apollo 13. Like I said, How the Grinch Stole Christmas I've grown to like just a little bit. It's not one of my favorite films from Ron Howard though, but I already said my reasons though. Like I said, Rush with Chris Hemsworth, In the Heart of the Sea. Frost Nixon I've not yet seen still. Ed TV, that was that one with Matthew McConaughey. It's kind of like the Truman Show, where her whole life is being filmed on a TV show, like the Truman Show. And the Dilemma with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James, that was, I'm calling it, it's a bad comedy. It's a piece of shit comedy. I'm sorry. It is a piece of shit comedy. That's one of Ron Howard's worst films. Solo, A Star Wars Story, I did not like at all either. That's considered one of his worst as well. It was just a pointless prequel. But yeah, but Apollo 13 is one of his best. But actually, maybe I'll say it's my favorite film from Ron Howard, because I enjoyed Backdraft, Cocoon I enjoyed, Ransom I liked, and I like this film. So I guess my top 5 favorite films from Ron Howard would be Apollo 13, Backdraft, Ransom, Splash, I'll put that on there, and Cocoon. So yeah, that's what I think that would be my top 5 favorite films from director Ron Howard. So yeah, but this film, as I said, if I put this in my top 5, I enjoyed Splash. Even my dad, he saw this back in the day in theaters, back in the day, 1994. So even my dad, he likes this film. He thinks it's a funny film as well. So, yeah. But Daryl Hannah, I don't know what happened with Daryl Hannah, because I don't think she hasn't done much. Like, I know she was in Kill Bill. She was in My Favorite Martian with Jeff Daniels and Christopher Lloyd. And before she started on Splash, she also starred in Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. Yeah, before this, she was in Blade Runner. I know she was in that television movie, the 93 television film remake of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. I know that. That had starred Daniel Baldwin as well. But yeah, whatever happened to Daryl Hannah? I don't know. Oh well. But I thought she did a wonderful job in this film as playing Madison. But like I said, her working in that mermaid suit, I give her kudos for that. Actually her swimming in the thing, so definitely give her kudos. John Candy, once again, I'll see what I'm saying. I miss John Candy. Eugene Levy did a great job, and so did Tom Hanks. Yeah, I miss that. I enjoy like the early Tom Hanks stuff, like I said, Bachelor Party, Big, The Burbs, The Money Pit. Like early Tom Hanks stuff, I like, and this is definitely another good one from Tom Hanks. And this is 20th, and just real quick, this is 20th anniversary edition. This has an audio commentary with director Ron Howard, producer Brian Grazer, the writers of the film, a making of Splash, with Brian Grazer, Daryl Hannah, Eugene Levy, John Candy as well. It's probably back in the day before he passed away. Ron Howard, Lau Gans, Tom Hanks on the making of the film. So yeah, I enjoy Splash. It's another good film from director Ron Howard. I give it a thumbs up. Actually, I give it 2 thumbs up. I enjoy the film. So that's my thoughts on Splash. Which are really cool. Yeah, they made it. There was also a direct TV sequel called Splash 2. Same characters are in it though, but none of the cast members. So I never had no interest in seeing it at all. So no interest. But I'll just stick to this one. But hope you enjoy this review for our Splash. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. It's a fun love / fantasy / comedy film, story wise, with a good heart to it. I'll give it that. It definitely has a good heart to it. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.